Today on Attack of the Show, we'll have all the latest news about Aquagate, the terrorism scare caused by a couple magnetic lights. You'll find out all you need to know in the feed, and we'll discuss whether or not guerrilla marketing has gone too far when we get in the loop. Plus, if you're interested in owning one of those alleged Moonanite terror devices, you'll have to notify the authorities that it came from eBay. Here we are, ready to rock you like a hurricane. A live Attack of the Show starts right now.
What's going on here? Think upon this. Attack.
Don't breathe out like that.
Hey, everybody, welcome to Attack of the Show, TV's only source for all the mass hysteria you care about. It's Thursday, February 1st. My name is Kevin Ferreira.
Hey. There you go. Hey, everyone, I'm ENunn, and we are coming to you live. Thank you, Ed.
That was loud. Didn't peg. Didn't peg on the meter.
No, they love you more. It's obvious.
They know that I'm in today. I'm a little ill, again, under the weather.
And he's coughing,
but I'm staying healthy. I've been staying healthy. I had to come in today to talk about, I couldn't pass the story up. Everybody's talking about it all day. The news has been coming in about the Aqua Teen Hunger Force promotion gone awry. And, of course, we have complete coverage of this breaking news non-story, really.
Non-story, but it's kind of a story. We're doing it right here.
That's what it is.
Now, yesterday, the city of Boston was shut down with a terror scare when magnetic Moonanites were placed around the city and were mistaken for explosives. Now arrests have been made and very serious charges have been filed. Yeah,
you know, honestly, we can't tell if this situation is just absurd or if it's scary as well. But there's a few things that we do know. You know, for our generation, this scare, it hints at some very puzzling issues surrounding the nation's fear. You know, on top of that, we've got the overreaction by the media, and now guerrilla marketers are being prosecuted on terrorism charges.
Yeah.
Really? Yeah.
It's crazy. I mean,
the description of a bomb matches the description of a VCR or a cell phone. It's powered and has wires. So does every other electronic device in the world.
They, for doing something like that, it did scare people, but terrorism charges, I mean, that's ridiculous.
Right.
And you know what? This situation deserves a name. So please, welcome to Day 2 of Aquagate.
Yeah. We had a graphic. There were issues. Just pretend you were dazzled.
Can you describe it to them? What it was like?
Well, it was like a terror, like a threat alert level, and it had a Moonanite. But then there was illegal. Don't worry about it.
Okay.
There's so much going on with this story that the net has been lighting up like a Moonanite all day, trying to stay on top of everything. So we're going to get right into it. Let's do it.
Make sure you have your hair questions ready. We're going around the net.
That's right.
Sean Stevens and Peter Brodowski were charged. Terrorists! They were charged and arraigned by Boston courts this morning, all because of the panic. The media was awaiting for them outside the courthouse, expecting a statement.
Would the two throw Turner Broadcasting under the bus? I thought they might. Or would they rail against the city of Boston and fight the charges leveled against them?
Oh, I hope it's the second one.
Well, thankfully, they're treating the situation with as much tact and respect as some believe it truly deserves.
But altogether, I want to redirect this onto the topic of haircuts in the 70s because I want to educate myself about it a little bit more than I know already.
We saw them like in court. We've seen their appearance now.
What other haircuts are there?
Prosecutors
there's the 60s. Yeah, I really like the one where the hair sort of curls around to the back. Oh, yeah, that's very cool.
They've taken this very seriously.
Yeah.
What was it like to spend last night in jail?
That's not a hair question. I'm sorry.
What are you disappointed about?
That's also not a hair question.
That's not a hair question.
Wait, and, you know, and people are giving them so much crap over this. I'd rather hear that's not a hair question than, like, I can't comment, or my lawyer, my attorney has said I can't comment.
But here's the thing. As important as it is to our national security, it's really important to know about the 60s and 70s and their hairstyles.
The origin of the pompadour. The prominence of the bowl cut. These are important issues facing our nation.
These are things that you just can't get on Wiki.
Sir, that is not a hair question.
That is not a hair question. Sean and Peter officially rock. It really takes stones to go out there and just flip off the bird to the media. Yeah. Yeah, just like a Moonanite would.
Yeah, as hard as I can. Besides yesterday's Aqua Teen insanity, though, America was focused on one more very important, very pressing, very pertinent topic, American Idol.
Yeah. Are you still into it?
I loved me some Idol. And of course, the country's still knee-deep in their audition process, of course. Yeah. America loves it.
Well, not so much for the talented singers, but for the freak show and Slam Fest.
That whole thing.
Thankfully, one guy saw the absurdity of the situation and decided to revive an internet classic.
It's peanut butter jelly time, peanut butter jelly time. Peanut butter jelly, peanut butter jelly, peanut butter jelly.
Forgettable.
Talent was spread thin.
I love how he takes his head like this.
He's like, did I make it? Did I make it? All right, cool. I'm the coolest man now, and you're the man now, dog. It's like, all right, yeah, you're gone now. That's it for today, folks, but more video goodness awaits you. Go to g4tv.com/AroundTheNet, formerly known as the Daily Nuts.
It's the same great videos you're used to, and while you're there, make sure to sign up for the Around the Net podcast. You guys will not regret it in the morning or where you're on like the cab and you have nothing to do, so you're watching it, or you're on the train, or you're like going to work and you're like waiting in here in makeup.
Time for the only news you need to know. Here's Layla Cayley,
want to see the
who's
videos
back in the saddle
from the Daily
with
Nut.
the feed headlines.
Thanks, guys. Here's what's coming up in the feed. First, we'll have all the breaking news about the Aquagate scandal and the latest developments. Plus, another day, another Borat lawsuit. We'll tell you what's going on. And one YouTube star is on her way to becoming a television star, and we'll tell you why. It's all coming your way in the feed. But first, back to you guys.
Thank you, Layla. Of course, today, folks, in the loop, we're going to focus on Aquagate and what the potential fallout of this situation might be. From advertising
It's going to be really interesting.
to threats of terrorism, we're going to get to the bottom of why the entire nation is crying foul at a couple LEDs and magnets. And
yeah, it's interesting because if they didn't become this big scandal, then would
it
anybody
would have
even
been
know
forgettable.
about
Do
them?
3 burnouts and we're like, dude, that is a movie tonight, and that's it. That's as far as the
It'd been
campaign
like
would have
3 guys
gone.
and
That's
they would've-
3 college
But
dudes.
now everyone
Maybe a
knows,
photo on
and
Flickr.
I think a lot of people want to see it, but this unique case strikes at the heart of our generation. So we want to know what you guys think. Has guerrilla marketing gone too far? Vote at our website, g4tv.com/. Why are you voting? Why are you
Just
laughing?
gorilla. I imagine marketing to gorillas specifically, and then banana ads and grunting and maybe
Got
people.
it. Make sure go to g4tv.com/AOTS or text your vote to G4TXT. That's 44898 to vote and register for AOTS Live
It's going to be a
News
skit. Watch it 3 weeks from now. Guerrilla marketing. Coming up, we're showing you terror of another kind. A sneak peek at the new thriller 1408. It's based off the Stephen King short story, and this scare fest stars John Cusack and Sam Jackson as they try to fight off a ghost in a hotel room.
Ooh,
with their bare fists, too. They just get chemo on them.
I wonder what room the hotel room is.
It's 1408, actually. So it's not just a clever name.
sense.
Trailers coming your way later on, folks.
Today, we are personally raising the terror alert. Get your guerrilla marketing suit ready. Things are about to raise to another level. You feel it?
I feel
Feel
it.
it?
Feel something.
Jerry? Stay tuned.
Here's what's coming up on today's Attack of the Show. Did the Aqua Teen Hunger Force's viral marketing ploy in Boston cross the line?
That guy was weird.
Or is America scared of its own shadow? All rise for the honorable loop. And it's a B-horror movie lover's dream when we visit the Troma Dance Film Festival. Bill Gates' hasty getaway is just the premise. Wait until you hear the punchline. All this and more when the attack comes back.
Say hello.
Welcome back to the show, everybody. We are TV's only source for all the stuff you care about. And, of course, we are live and now with more journalistic integrity than ever.
We've got the rags and are waiting to polish those Pulitzer Prizes. Any minute now, I think they're... No, they still haven't come in.
Daytime
Not
Peabody.
yet. They haven't come in.
Now, if your girlfriend is wondering where you got the potentially explosive device that has shaken the entire country, just say, listen, sweetheart.
It came from eBay.
Wow.
What's going on here?
First up, of course, we have to have one of the Enignoct LED advertising devices.
Yeah, that's right. One of the authentic Aqua Teen Hunger Force circuit boards that were placed around the city of Boston. It prompted the arrest of 2 people and numerous public apologies from Ted Turner's TV empire. Now, this particular one was removed from Commonwealth Avenue in Boston, and sorry, it's not actually a bomb.
Oh, no, but you could probably use it to outrage morons or cripple a large metropolitan area, for a day, piss off commuters, whatever you want to do, They'll sit in traffic for hours while the bomb squad detonated. It's great. It's really good. And it's quite a steal at just over $5,200
How many bids
42
so far?
bids.
42 bids?
The first thing I did yesterday when I heard about the story is let's find out where they are in LA because I wanted one. Not because now I might actually bid on one.
But can't you just go buy like a regular one and say,
No, it's got to be a legit.
It's got to be that
one.
one.
Has to be legit.
Has to be that. What would you do with it?
I'd put it in my bathroom.
Or over on the 405?
If I had a pool table, I'd put it over there.
Or put it on the 405, do your own thing with it.
Exactly.
Just keep it circulating.
Clear out traffic for myself. Up next, we have every game ever made, ever, for the NES.
That's right, a Nintendo Entertainment System, along with every game in mint or near mint condition. This auction includes the original system, all 670 licensed games, and 12 accessories, including Rob the Robot, the Power Glove, the Power Pad, and the Light Gun.
Nice.
All of that.
But this amazing collection is no bargain if you've ever heard of emulators, or you know, if you'd like to pay the hundreds of play the hundreds of unlicensed games that are available. But despite that, the auction is currently at $21,211.
That's amazing.
89 bids. So
89
a lot of
bids.
collectors out
That's
there.
That's something I would actually want.
Yeah,
I love Nintendo.
One auction and you've got it all. So
you got it
sweet.
all. That is nice. Next up, we have a perfect replica of Kit from Knight Rider. That's right, Kevin. The sassy talking car that starred alongside David Hasselhoff in the 80s TV series.
Does it have that blinking LED strip? Because then it might be a terrorist threat. I'm just saying.
It might.
The owner of this replica says that he spent over $40,000 converting his 1984 Pontiac Trans Am so that it would look just like the Knight Industries 2000 that Hoff used when he would parade around his lost law.
It would be cool if it played the songs that David Hasselhoff sings now.
Oh,
like
if
get in the car,
jump in my car.
Jump in my car.
Yeah,
that
would do that every time you armed it. Yeah.
That'd be great.
Anyway, it's a perfect replica.
Yeah.
So.
Unfortunately, though, Kevin, nobody really felt like they needed to improve their David Hasselhoff impersonation, as the auction just ended without anyone biting on the $19,000 opening bid.
All right.
So it's just sitting there.
That's sad.
But Kit's sad.
He's crying.
Kit's sad.
Little car tears. And since Valentine's Day is coming up, folks, we have 3 quick items that you may want to think about bidding on for that very special someone. First up, a real stuffed toad playing a harp.
Wow.
Yeah, so, you know, if your friend loves animals and music, most do, why not combine them with this taxidermic masterpiece? 0 bids, 99 cents. So get in on it now.
99 cents. Kevin, I don't have a Valentine's gift from you yet.
I don't have 99 cents.
Oh, awkward.
Look at the hair.
Awkward. Second, everyone, a leather bra from the 1800s.
Nice.
Now you can extend your role-playing sessions to the good old days when women couldn't vote and were jailed for talking back.
Oh.
Going for $50 with 1 bid.
Thanks for strolling me down memory lane. That was nice. Finally.
I can talk. You can't stop me.
No, I can't.
It's the law now.
I have to do these. Jack and Johnson. 1 rap on the kisser. See ya.
It just feels like a tap when you do it, though.
How about it's a love tap. Finally, a human fetus-shaped chicken nugget. Yeah. It's a good way to break the ice with your girlfriend, especially if you two still haven't, you know, spoken since
That's creepy.
Since she accidentally got pregnant. But it's only going for $2.50. 14 bids.
14 bids.
No bids for the car or the toad.
But what would
player,
you do with it? Would you eat it? Would you?
I donate it for research.
Oh yeah, that's interesting. You probably get nothing back on it.
No, but you know, chicken stem cells could be turned into anything. You never know.
That's true. That's true. That's it for today. Always expect the unexpected, the bizarre, and the potential Department of Homeland Security defense mockery when
it came from eBay. Well, I go bid on that chicken nugget fetus. Let's toss things over to Miss Munn. Why don't you just
dip it in ketchup. It looks like it's bleeding.
Just take the wheel. We'll be fine.
At home and work, you can too. Call now.
Rock. Join Adam and Morgan as they count down the top 5 video game soundtracks of all time. X-Play, the musical, Monday at 8, only on G4.
So that's what they do when we're not here. Musical chairs.
They just shuffle around.
Run around. So stupid. Welcome back to a live attack of the show. It is February 1st, and rent is due. Damn it.
Oh, I thought pretty girls didn't pay rent.
No, I'm not that pretty.
Oh, okay. But it's time now to sift through your TiVo's abused hard drive and squeeze out those gems of television. Here's a look at the best the tube had to offer this past week. Listen closely, folks. It's the punchline.
Now, I've been trying to catch up on all of my shows lately, but even with the TiVo, I just can't do it. I'm always behind somehow.
Well, thankfully, we have an army of them here to really get the job done. An army of TiVos, yes. It makes coming to work semi-tolerable.
Semi.
Actually. First up, believe it or not, Stephen Colbert has his own show. He calls it the Colbert Report. You might have heard of it. Anyway, last week on our show, we discussed the ethics behind updating Wikipedia. And in this clip, Colbert uses one word to share his thoughts on everyone's favorite open source encyclopedia.
Also winning on my favorite website, Wikipedia. It has over 1 million articles, but still no entry for tonight's word. Wiki lobbying. And I'll give $5 to the first person who goes on Wikipedia and changes the entry on reality to that. And to all those who say, that's not what reality is, I say, oh, really? Look it up on Wikipedia.
That's like what we do here. We just wiki everything.
And it was the moment I saw the story, of course, I went to Wikipedia right away, and it had been locked down once for the East Coast feed and once for the West Coast feed. They're like, oh no, now the West Coasters are going to try and lock it down.
See, if we had thought about that, we would have locked ours ahead of time before.
But we kind of wanted to read all the cool things. Like, I didn't know I killed a 2-ton grizzly bear with my stare.
That's amazing. With just your stare?
It says it on Wikipedia.
Well, that must be true. Now, everyone's favorite father is Bob Saget. Everyone knows that. Recently, he helped Conan O'Brien open his show with another classic in the year 2000. Sound like it?
That was good.
Thank you.
Good job.
Now, later, Bob was quick to share his thoughts on dealing with his father figure stereotype and explains why his latest film isn't going to be released in theaters.
I have 3 daughters, and I truly believe that if you're a good father, a really good father, the chances of you having nasty, dirty hoes as daughters are smaller.
Right. It just came out. It's called Farce of the Penguins, and it's on DVD now.
Right.
Is it going to be in the theaters later? How does it work?
We chose to release it on DVD when they decided not to release it in the theaters.
It's true. It's the same reason we refused to do the show on network television.
Really?
Right.
I had no idea.
We want it on cable.
But I also like what he said about being a good father because my biological father wasn't around, and I'm a dirty, nasty whore.
Right.
So it makes sense.
Case in point.
Yes.
Bob Saget's wisdom comes through. But it's for the benefit of all mankind and for our viewers at home.
Oh, true.
Yeah. Now, earlier this week, we covered Bill Gates' appearance on The Daily Show. Now, Jon Stewart may have taken it easy on the zillionaire when he was on set, but the following day, Stewart and his staff were quick to point out the true reason behind Bill's unscripted and very early departure.
If you watched our program last night, our guest was Microsoft Chairman Bill Gates, and I don't know if you noticed, but he left in a bit of a hurry. Take a look at the footage. Bill Gates, Windows Vista on set. Oh, he's leaving! He can't just leave! And what's interesting is that is the cleaned up version that we did for television. Here's what actually happened in the studio. Thank you so much for joining us. We really do appreciate it. Bill Gates, Windows Vista on
set. That's awesome. Awesome.
The Bill Gates of death.
And finally, to prove you can never have enough Jon Stewart in your life, we have another clip from The Daily Show, this time from last night's episode. After Stewart has convinced us that Dick Cheney is not an arrogant, delusional force for evil, he lets the president speak on Cheney's behalf.
This weekend, the President of the United States went on National Public Radio to explain that he knows Cheney. Cheney is not delusional, just optimistic.
I think the Vice President is a person reflecting a half-glass full mentality.
We're all familiar with that phrase. Some people look at the glass as half full, some say it's half empty, others say it's half a glass, I guess, is what he was saying.
And the best part, like the little tiny delusional midget in W's head that was pulling the levers during that? He's like, he's a half full glass kind of guy.
Full.
you know, it had the snicker. He's like, I made a reference. It's pop culture.
That's awesome.
That's the punchline. Tell your friends and family they can safely eBay their TiVos because we've got all the best TV clips saved, and hopefully our PAs don't delete them.
They won't.
They love that New York show.
They do.
They just keep clearing space for it.
Do not go anywhere. I just have got to run to my dressing room and go look for my foreigner belt. So can you just say goodbye and I'll be right back?
Sure. Well, we'll be right back. We'll see you in a second or two.
Oh, wait, this way.
We've calculated the perfect prescription for all the news you need to know. It's the feed. And should scaring the masses with viral marketing be punishable by law? The jury's out in the loop.
Welcome back to Attack of the Show, TV's only source for all the stuff you care about. We are live and now eagerly anticipating the opening of the Aqua Teen Hunger Force movie. Coming to theaters March 23rd. It's going to be interesting to see if they make any last-minute changes. Do you think they'll address the whole terror issue?
That would be awesome if they did.
I hope they do.
But sometimes it's now going to February, so we have like 2 months before we really get to see it.
Oh, they could totally milk this out.
Yeah, hopefully. Sometimes when you get too much press in the beginning, people forget. By March 23rd. Hopefully not. You guys, coming up later, we are going to show you the trailer for 1408. 56 people have died in room 1408. Wow. So John Cusack and Sam Jackson are going to get to the bottom of it. Stay tuned for some paranormal activity. If there's anybody that's going to get to the bottom, it must be Sam Jackson.
Oh, I was going to say they're going to go with Cusack. Man's a
Jackson.
king.
He is a king, but Jackson does everything. You see him in every movie.
All right, well, they needed to know that. But now they also need to know the only news that they need to know in the feed.
Sound a little bit more excited, Kevin. Thanks, guys. I'm better. Yesterday, we brought you breaking coverage of the Aqua Teen terrorism scare, and we've got data. Suspicious devices that were placed along bridges and roads across the city. It turns out that they were not terrorist weapons. Magnetic boards featured the moon and night. This was viral for the Adult Swim and coming film. Police were able to recognize the character, and in fact, city permits filed the light. As the show managed to contact Peter Rudofsky, one of the two men accused of causing the panic. In fact, the FBI showed up at his residence while we were on the phone with him. We tracked him down through a video on their website, which showed the devices being placed throughout the city. In an email with our staff, Rudofsky stated, quote, "I'm getting interrogated right now. We'll be in touch when I can. Wish me luck," end quote. Oh. Peter and Sean Stevens were arrested on several felony charges, arraigned this morning, and were charged with placing a hoax device and disorderly conduct. They were released on a $2,500 bond, and there is talk about civil suits being filed against the two men and Turner Broadcasting, which is the parent company of Adult Swim. Are you going to stay here while I do this whole thing?
We couldn't afford a mic stand, so
all right.
Go ahead.
For the latest news as it happens, go to g4tv.com/Aquagate.
Still in the shot?
Yeah.
Okay.
You'll be able to see the full video of the lights being hung up, courtesy of Sevilla.com. Am I going to use this as my mic?
Yes,
working?
just
all right.
we're good.
And in other legal news, it seems that Borat is facing yet another lawsuit.
Wow.
Israeli comedian Deval Glickman stated that he plans to sue Sacha Baron Cohen for stealing his catchphrase. Say it with me, Kevin.
Wah, wah, wee, wah.
Wah, wah, wee, wah. Glickman claims that he coined the phrase 16 years ago on a television show, and it has been used in the popular series of television commercials. At this rate, expect a new lawsuit next week. You're in my shot. Turn around.
Sorry.
And finally, YouTube is known for making overnight internet celebrities, but now they might have made a TV star. Actress Lisa Donovan moved out to Los Angeles and auditioned for Fox's Mad TV, but sadly was not hired. She turned to YouTube and produced several short films, which were a huge success. After becoming the 39th most watched person on the site, she received a call from Mad TV and was hired. With this kind of success, you can expect the competition to get even more crowded. I was on Mad TV once.
Were you?
As an extra.
I watched Mad TV once.
Yeah, as an extra, like in Pop Idol. Well, that's it for today, but don't worry, the feed doesn't stop here, does it, Kevin?
No, it doesn't.
Tell me what you can do.
You can keep your iPod fed with all the news you need to know by downloading our daily feed podcast. You can get it now at g4tv.com.
Podcast.
Slash.
I'm Layla Kaylee with Kevin Pereira, and you guys have just been fed.
My microphone.
Oh, sorry. Let's
thank
go back to Kevin. Go back.
I gotta run. I just got fed.
Well, thank you, Kevin. That was amazing.
Thank you.
You're really good at that.
Time to hear from you folks at home.
Let's dive into the army of monitor heads.
Hi, Smarky here from Showmageddon. You may remember me from being on the front page of MySpace. So, does internet success translate into real-world success?
Well, as we just kind of heard, it can.
Yeah, it can. I mean, I think talent can come from anywhere. It can,
right.
Arise.
I think it's really starting to happen. Like, people have said, well, you could post a blog or post a video online and maybe make it big. But that Lisa girl from Mad TV now, that's case in point. I mean, she didn't get it, got popular online, now she's on TV.
A lot of actors you see, it's not about, it's just being in the right place at the right time. Having talent to get there, but also when doors open and, there's a lot of great actors out there who don't have a chance to do great work.
Right.
And, people like her, she gets on and you have talent.
It's a chance to show it to the world.
If you have talent, you should be able to go as far as you can go.
And if you don't, you should host live television.
Hey! Fame can basically be achieved from the privacy of your own home these days. So, with that note, stay seated and wait for it to happen. It's going to happen, I promise.
Oh, she's not lying.
Maybe not now, but
it's going to happen.
It's going to happen.
We have lots more ahead on TV's only source for all the fame you care about with my fame hand.
I noticed.
Using terror campaigns to scare audiences into movie theaters? Has viral marketing gone too far? We'll round up the answers in The Loop. And it's low-budget horror movies galore when we check out the Troma Dance Film Festival.
So, join Adam and Morgan.
Welcome back to Attack of the Show. We are live and talking about the Moonanites. Earlier in the show, we asked you if guerrilla marketing has gone too far. Well, according to our top analyst in G4's Department of Homeland Security, 59% of you think that guerrilla marketing has not gone too far. Let's go over to Kevin, who thought this whole debate was about actual guerrillas.
I mean, I'm still excited for the debate, but you're right, I totally did. All right, we're going to delve into Aquagate in just a moment, but first we want to take a look back and recap everything that went down with the Moonanites yesterday in good old Beantown. Yesterday, a terrorist scare shut down the entire city of Boston. Law enforcement personnel found 10 electronic devices throughout the city. Who was responsible for this scare? As it turns out, it was those lovable Moonanites from Adult Swim's Aqua Teen Hunger Force. The ads, which were in place for about 2 weeks, turned out to be nothing more than magnetic lights. They were placed in 10 major cities across the country as part of an outdoor viral marketing campaign for Aqua Teen Hunger Force. Adult Swim's parent company, Turner Broadcasting, released an apology which stated, quote, "We regret that they were mistakenly thought to pose any danger." Did Aqua Teen Hunger Force's viral marketing cross the line? Did Adult Swim intend to cause panic and mass hysteria? Or is America simply afraid of its own shadow? Do you see that? Because he's doing it as hard as he can. It's The Loop. All right, joining us tonight from Los Angeles, TV writer for Variety, Michael Schneider, and from New York, Peter Shankman, CEO of marketing firm The Geek Factory and author of Can We Do That?, a book about outrageous PR stunts. Gentlemen, welcome to The Loop. It has been a very, very interesting day. I'm sure you've been glued to your televisions just as we have around here. I mean, let's start with you, Michael. What happened in Boston? I mean, is this guerrilla marketing gone too far?
I think it's guerrilla marketing that obviously worked. I mean, the fact is they put these pieces of art all over the country, Los Angeles, San Francisco, New York. Why did Boston freak out? Why did none of these other cities freak out? Maybe they're a little more tense there. Maybe, I don't know, they're a little more sensitive in Boston or something.
Or maybe they're lacking 18 to 34-year-old males who kind of got what the art was going for, perhaps.
That's perhaps it. I mean, basically, when you look at the statements from the governor, from the mayor of Boston, clearly they're not watching Adult Swim. They've never heard of a talking milkshake or a meatball determined on taking over the world. I think it's just funny, but that's just me.
Now, Peter, a lot of people didn't think it was funny, and everybody's saying this is clearly, this new style of marketing is hazardous. It's a potential threat. It's dangerous. What do you think? Guerrilla marketing gone too far, or just a harmless little art project?
You know, first of all, it's not a new form of marketing. War of the Worlds did the same thing 50 years ago. This is nothing new. What this was, you know, it went too far if they didn't do it right. Brilliant stunt, executed poorly. Did they get the permits to hang these things? If they did, then the problem's really with the city of Boston for freaking out over nothing. And there is, I went to Boston University, there actually is a rule in Boston, don't make the mayor mad. And if you violate that rule, you'll go to jail.
Oh, they
so
did more than violate that rule. Absolutely. Well, you know, here's the deal, though. Boston police, they made several arrests. So you say the permits are one thing, but they charged Sean Stevens and Peter Badowski with disorderly conduct, okay, and placing a hoax
Of course
device.
they did. They're not going to grab the CEO of Turner and bring him in.
Though. These are just flunkies. I mean, the fact that they're getting arrested and they're going to throw the book at them when all they did was hang these art installations up on the wall. There's a guy in San Francisco who found one. He thought it was so cool that he actually stuck it on his wall. You know, they didn't have something up their pants in San Francisco. They seemed okay with it. It was just Boston. It's very bizarre. And shout out to the Department of Homeland Security, by the way, for going on the air and saying, you know what, we haven't found these anywhere else in the country. It's just Boston. When everyone knew, Turner even told us that they were in every city in the country.
Right,
so.
and perhaps had been there for 3 weeks. But,
exactly.
But Peter,
I'm feeling safe right now. I
know on this little debate or this fun discussion that we're having, we all seem to understand it was an art project. Maybe things were blown out of proportion. But any news channel you flick to, any radio station that you happen to tune into right now, they're saying this is serious business. People's commute times were well into the hours. It costed almost $1 million. It was a huge threat. The entire, town of Boston, they're up in arms about this. And, of course, Turner Broadcasting, they released a statement where they apologized. Now, if you listen to this discussion we're having, it's almost like, well, why would Turner do that? But Peter, do you think they should have apologized? Is that right?
They had to apologize. They're very smart. They apologized and said, hey, you know what? We screwed up, and it'll cost them $1 million or $1.5 million in fines, and they'll get $200 million in publicity out of it. But one of the first things that I always ask my employees, and I always tell my clients when we do these stunts, we flooded Times Square with soda. We threw 150 CEOs out of airplanes. The first question is, if this goes bad, can someone die? Okay, and the fact of the matter is that they needed to ask that, and they needed to explore a little more than they did. Stunts are great, and I'm all for them. But you have to ask yourself, they shut down the Mass Ave bridge. What if some 85-year-old guy on one side of the bridge has a heart attack and can't get to the hospital on the other side and dies because he's sitting in gridlock?
True, but Peter, would your company, if you had asked that question about this particular stunt to your employees, do you really think any of them would have gone to that conclusion that placing a harmless piece of magnetic art on a bridge could lead to an 80-year-old man dying because someone's going to shut that bridge down? Would they really have gone there?
I'm not agreeing that it's the right way to go, but you know what? We live in a world now where everyone screams out, if you see something, say something. I'm not saying it's right, but we have to think like that.
A few years ago, ABC actually installed talking urinals. I don't know if you guys remember that.
I remember.
I think that impacted me a little bit. I think I got a little more drippage than usual on my pants. But you know what? I didn't sue ABC. I didn't call the cops. I didn't call the authorities.
You should have sued Dockers, because they clearly weren't stain resistant at that point.
That's not a bad idea. And by the way, I'll be calling my lawyer after this. But anyway.
Now, Michael, you tell me, isn't the real mistake that these marketers made the fact that the LEDs weren't in the shape of the McDonald's Golden Arch or Nike swoosh?
The Nike swoosh.
That had people recognize the symbol a little bit more rapidly, that this would have been a non-issue entirely?
Well, I tell you what, if the terrorists ever do try to blow up bridges, I doubt they'll be doing it with cartoon characters flipping you off. I don't think they have that kind of sense of humor. I could be wrong. But once you saw the images on these sheets, I mean, clearly this was a joke. This was when the police saw these things, they should have said, you know what, this was ridiculous. This is a joke. Okay, we get it. Who's responsible for this? Let's just figure this out. Instead, they called in the authorities. They called in Homeland Security. It got out of proportion. Now, who's to blame for it?
I want to end this with Peter here because your company does these kind of campaigns all the time. This could potentially mean $1 million, $1 million plus in fines for Turner. When a 30-second spot for the Super Bowl goes for billions, is this a big deal to them, really?
Not in the slightest. What this will do is, quietly, they'll come out in public and they'll say, you know what, we screwed up and we're sorry and we're paying for the cost of the bomb threat, the bomb squad. And then they're going to go back and they're going to close the doors and make sure all the cameras are going off and go, hey guys, it's sweeps week, $50 million in advertising, we rule.
All right, I want to thank our guests, Michael and Peter, for joining us today. Thanks for keeping us in the loop. Yesterday's events, they showed that America is still very serious about the threat of terrorism, and there's nothing wrong with that, nothing at all. But what is incredibly wrong is the media's handling of this non-situation. I mean, can we please stop perpetuating this culture of fear? I mean, the words terror hoax device and prank terrorism threat, they're still being thrown around despite the fact that this incident was completely debunked while other news outlets were still claiming it was developing. I mean, Attack of the Show, we certainly don't have the resources that Fox News or Turner-owned CNN does. Yet as the devices were still being removed live, our staff performed a couple Google searches, and we were able to see this story for what it was, a gigantic misunderstanding. Everybody just calm down, take a deep breath, relax for 1 second, maybe watch some cartoons. Because, when a few LEDs overshadow actual bombings in Iraq, it's clearly time to change the channel.
Well said, Mr. Pereira. Now stay right there, especially if you're wearing an Aqua Teen gear. You might get branded as a terrorist. I'm just letting you know, a little forewarning. There's plenty more show coming up right after this. We're on your side. We'll come there and protect you. Don't worry.
The film